action.
So I found the experience of being in the integrative studies much more multi-dimensional than being in a standalone course, because it affected, because of the seminar, the readings, the lectures, the films, and then the online community, and then also outside of that, the conversations in between classes and amongst us more informally. It seemed like you're experiencing the class constantly on this very personal, internal level, and then also intellectually and academically, and I felt like the material seeps into you at a different level whenever it's not quite so impersonal.
For me, integrative studies was very it was a very good choice. I think when I was told that I should do it, because you learn all this material through many different sources. So you look at things from new perspectives, and not just one new perspective where you might take one class and it says, makes you think, challenges you to think about something in a new way. This challenges you to think about things in all different kinds of ways, you know, play the devil's advocate and kind of see things from all different points of view. And as Gwen was saying, you have that online community and you have, like, the discussion never really ends. And a lot of courses I've taken, you know, I've taken 3 or 4 classes at a time, and you're always worried about homework for this class and then this class. Well, this is all like 2 or 3 classes combined, so you don't have to worry about all that is focused on one thing, but that one thing is, there's a lot of it, but it's really easy to kind of like, it's more organized, I feel, rather than my scatterbrain trying to deal with all different things at once. So.
Well, as a Running Start student, I didn't really have a very good experience with college at first because, you know, I'm young and a lot of people here are old or older than me, and so somebody had explained the course to me as a learning community, and that's exactly what it is. You know, you come together with a bunch of people that you don't know, and then you get to know them, and it's not so much about getting to know the individuals as it is getting to know people in general. And regardless of the material, you know, you're learning something, and it's really important. And especially you're learning a lot about yourself, you know, how you interact within a community like that. And then it's kind of a microcosm, and how you interact with individuals in the learning community is kind of how you interact with people in the world. So.
Good analogy.
Yeah, I think that I have very little to add to what you guys have already said. It was really good to have so much material presented in so many different ways. You know, when you read it in the book and you think, or I thought after having read it, oh yeah, I understand it, I get it, you know, I see where that's coming from. And then to go into seminar and discuss it and see that someone else had an idea that was so totally different from what I had been thinking. And it was really interesting to take that and see how my own views changed because of that other information. And there was, you know, the whole class was like that, you know, with the discussions and having film and drama. It was really amazing how some things came through in the drama in a way that they just didn't in the other formats. So I really love this format, and I really would like to continue in this format again.
I have to agree with all of you and kind of all at once, if that makes any sense. I also did not have any clue what integrative studies was all about. I figured it was, you know, 3 courses and you just kind of hit them one by one, maybe one a certain day and that kind of thing, but that it would still be very structured as far as, you know, book notes, right, turn in homework, quiz, test kind of thing. But what this is so much more. It really is a community, and I don't know if all integrative studies include the forums and a lot of the online stuff that we were doing as well as the classroom experience, but that's what I really found the most, what would it be, appeal for me, maybe, just that I gained this hunger, this thirst, where I would find myself, and it's like, I don't know who said it, that this kind of becomes, you eat and live and breathe this, but it's not in a bad way. It's almost like, it's like you go home and then you want to get online and you want to see what people are saying, because maybe something that someone did not have the opportunity to say in class, they're going to be more comfortable to say that in that online experience, and then but you still get the opportunity to interact with that person, and you get the chance to continue thoughts, especially in a really big group of people. I think I really like that part of it, because it still gave everyone the opportunity to fully express their thoughts and opinions on a day-to-day basis. So,
Yeah, that's the thing. Some people are really, internet savvy, and others learn best by lecture. And the same thing goes with professors. Some are really good lecturers, and some not so much. But when you have more than one professor, it's much more easy to learn material from different people at the same time than just one person at the same time.
well, and yes, I mean, even how they, where one teacher may sort of pause or stall, and and it was nice to see how, as instructors, they would gauge the classroom response, if you will, and then really quickly, someone else just jump in and go, okay, I think what he's trying to say is, and let me put this in these terms, and continue to just build upon a thought or an idea, or, no matter what, it was just a constant movement. We were really getting that.
And on that topic of community, I think, a really good analogy for the class is the idea of community, that we came in separate individuals. And through the process of seminar, like we just processed our seminar, through the process of seminar and drama and being grouped in so many different ways with so many different people and taken out of our comfort zone oftentimes, I think that reinforces, if our style isn't working in a certain way, then we need to examine, how are we communicating with others? And I think probably for me, one of the most powerful takeaways from this course would be, I love to think and I love to be challenged in my thinking. In this course, the material, the way it was presented, the interactions with others, and I was like, Susan, what does this drama have to do with? And then it would come to me later, because as thinking people later, you would see the processes of how, oh yeah, when we did Body Works and we tried to do a machine of African Americans, we only could come up with these 5 flat static labels and categories to act out an African American. And so it really brought it home, everything that we were learning intellectually and emotionally in the classroom. It brought it home on a very physical level, how ingrained some of these ways of thinking are for us.
Yeah, and I know for me, this class really brought together, it wasn't just knowledge. A lot of classes you go and they lecture, you take it down, and then you kind of soak it in. But this was really like, you got the information, you talked about it, and then you applied it to things. So a lot of classes don't have that application, where I think, both in the classroom and outside the classroom, like for instance in seminar, and it drives you to want to read, to want to be able to participate, where a lot of classes are kind of like, read this and then do this test, and the teachers are kind of vacant from the experience, whereas in integrated studies, teachers are very much involved in you personally. They're willing to give you help outside of class, and they're also willing to, a lot of teachers, when it's just one teacher, they might speed up or not realize that they're going too fast. And one really great thing with integrated studies, especially our class, is the teachers, if one of them kind of was going kind of too fast, the other one might say, okay, just slow down, and let them, and then, oh, okay, because we all have those shortcomings and stuff. And kind of going back to the seminar thing, that was really great because of the real life applications that we can have for that, where we can say, this is what we took in the reading, how does it apply to the real world, how does it apply to me, and how do I apply it to the real world? And we got to look at all those different factors of it, and just kind of like step back and think about things critically and examine both society and our lives. And it wasn't just a thing where you go to class and you learn these facts and then you take the test and it kind of goes away.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, and the comparison also with, integrative studies versus like the classroom experience. I think there's this desire or need to really quickly absorb what the instructor is asking of you, try to identify that in a text in real time, and then respond. And you better get that opportunity because you're kind of competing in that moment in that classroom, because who knows what the next day's lecture or experience is going to bring. Whereas this is very designed to allow for us to take, listen, take notes, absorb the lecture, process it, sit on it, come back, talk, not only how we we feel, but bounce it off of others, and then get their experience and their knowledge. And I know that this class not only pushed me to want to be a better writer and helped me to do that, but also a more critical thinker and also a better communicator. You know, it did all of those things, and that's something I don't think that you find in a classroom experience.
I think another real strength in integrative studies is a lot of times in our culture, we are geared towards thinking or communicating or perceiving the world in terms of right and wrong. Am I right in this? And in that traditional, very structured public school, I don't want to pick on public schools, but you know, in that traditional kind of educational structure and institution, it's about, did you get it right? There's a reward. You know, oh, you were wrong. And I noticed even in our class, at the seminar and in a larger class setting, it took a while for people to realize you're not talking to the teacher. You're learning together as a community, as you have all echoed so well. And then the other piece is that it's not about being right or wrong. It's about exploring issues from as many different angles and learning about the constructs of what helped us as a society as a whole to get to here. And I think another major takeaway from this course is there's many of us who will truly be social agents for social change. And I think that's a reality. So that is a concrete outcome of this course, is that many of us will go on to either return to doing advocacy for things that we believe in or want to support in our community, or will become, if we're at a different place in life, or will become those agents of change for social change.
Something really unique about a learning community is that there's no competition in the class. You know, you don't feel like you're competing against your classmates, because I don't know if all learning communities work this way, but in ours, our professors outright said that they're learning with us. Because, and I think that comes with the community concept, you know, because each one is going to be different. No two people are the same, so no two communities are the same either. And so with that, like I said, you're learning about people, and then when there are new people, you're learning even more.
And what you were saying earlier about right and wrong, that like the traditional is like beliefs, the two-valued orientation. It's right or it's wrong, it's black or it's white. This class really steps away, and it's not really about right or wrong, it's about learning and experiencing it. And rather than, you know, saying, well, these are the facts, what's my outcome? It's not about the outcome, it's about the process. And it's saying, you know, looking at the different angles of something. And there's a lot of personal writing that we studied, and, you know, saying these are the emotional appeals, and this is what people are going through, and taking that and then applying that, using the application through seminar to say, okay, well, you know, this is what people are going through, and then it's not so much about the outcome, it's about the process of what goes on and the learning experience of that.
I would agree.
I'm not sure how much of it was how much of what I'm going to say had to do with the integrative studies model, and how much of it had to do with the material itself that we covered in this particular class. But I found myself wanting to know more, wanting to learn more. I found myself being really impatient with the process of going from one part of the room to the other part of the room, because while we were moving from one part of the room to the other, we weren't learning anything. And so we would, you know, just get over there, hurry, and get back to it. And it was really exciting, a lot of fun that way.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think I missed one day of class, and that rarely happens with classes, you know. You wake up, you're like, oh, I'm gonna sleep in a little bit. But I mean, it was a very engaging class, and you wanted to actively be a part of it. And you also monitored yourself too, because you don't want to be too much, like you don't want to monopolize. So,
Right.
and that was a great skill. You learned a lot of academic like skills, I guess, in both writing
Protocol.
and reading, and protocol too, like monitoring yourself, which I learned a lot. So.
It's funny that you mentioned the attendance, because I'm telling you that only reason I missed one class was because there was absolutely no way for me to avoid it. And the whole time that I was not in the classroom, I'm going, man, I have missed so much. This is taking a chunk out of my life, because this is life-changing, you know, what's going on right now, and I'm missing this. And yeah, I don't know that that's how I would feel in a math class, for instance.